Hey there guys, happy Friday and welcome to another MWeb Game Zone video from myself, Stunt. What I'd like to talk about today is a game that's literally been eating up all of my time. Any gaming time that I've got spare immediately goes straight into this. It's literally a game I can almost make time for at any given time. When I'm at home and I'm close to my PC, I can play this game. It's the only game I want to play lately, and the game in question is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's currently an early access title on Steam, PC exclusive. I do believe it will make its way to console in time, but for the moment being, it's solely available on PC. It's also within the early access portion of Steam, which is a category of games which is very often actually frowned upon, I would say, mostly due to unsuccessful titles that have been released on early access. The most notable one for me at least is DayZ, a standalone game based on a very popular Arma 2 mod, which basically had the dev promises stuff they never delivered, and at some point they basically just dropped the game and never got back to it. So early access in itself is not really the best place for any games to feature just because of the record the category holds. Now, Battle Royale is a crowning achievement in this genre. I would say it's probably the most successful and probably the best game I've ever seen in early access as well. Now, what makes PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds such a phenomenal game is that it refines and maybe even perfects a genre that I learned to not enjoy. There's some irony in here though. PlayerUnknown is the godfather of the genre. He's the reason I disliked this genre in the past, and he's now the reason that I love it. Now, to understand that, let me give you some history on PlayerUnknown. The first time he delved into the genre is when he created a Battle Royale mod for an already existing Arma 2 mod called DayZ. Now, the reception of this mod was so good and so popular that he recreated the mod for Arma 3. There it was just as well received. So well actually that Sony Online Entertainment recruited him as the core advisor for their own survival games variation of that mod called H1Z1's King of the Kill. Personally, I never played the Arma 2 Battle Royale mod. I did play the Arma 3 mod, I played H1Z1, I played King of the Kill, I even played other variations of the genre by other devs, stuff like The Culling for example, but it just never grew on me. I did not like the fact that it was too much of a gamble. You'd land in, you'd possibly die within the first minute, and then you'd have to restack in the lobby, find another game and go on like that. Playing Battlefield, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, it was so much easier to play those games for me, and I just did not enjoy the entire Battle Royale concept. At least not until I played Battlegrounds. So what is it about Battlegrounds that just makes it so perfect, that makes it a game that I want to play, that I need to play, based in a genre that I generally never enjoyed? Well, in a nutshell, it's a culmination of things. Gameplay wise, it's not as realistic as Arma 3, but it's also not as arcadey as H1Z1 or The Culling is. It's just got a brilliant balance. Mobility, motion, animations, being able to hip fire, being able to go into third person, first person, use ADS, everything in that concept just works. The way that they've integrated these mechanics just makes the game enjoyable. The environment is another factor that's just very well designed. It's set on an island, so you can't expect too much terrain variation, but I mean, you've got rivers, you've got roads, you've got small towns, bigger towns, little farmhouses, little sheds all over the place. You literally have so much cover, loot and defensible options in the world that it makes it interesting. And the fact that the shrinking circle that is always present focuses on different areas of the island constantly really varies up your playstyle and the focal point of where all the traffic is being driven. Which brings me to the loot balance. Now, this is my favorite part of the game. It's a thing I used to struggle with, and probably my least favorite part of the previous variations or iterations of games and mods in the genre, is the loot balance always seemed a little bit odd. You'd sometimes find yourself 5 to 10 minutes in the game and you're really not outfitted for a fight. In Battlegrounds, it's a rare occasion. It's almost perfected. There are times when you will find yourself poorly outfitted 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the game, where you've only got level 1 items, if items at all, and you probably only have a shotgun or pistol, which is not the worst weapons to have. But the cold and good fact is that this is a rare occurrence in the game. I seldomly find myself poorly outfitted 5 to 10 minutes into the game. I'll have an assault rifle, I'll have some level 2 items, I'll basically be in a position that I can carry and defend myself if I get into a 1-on-1 or a 1-on-2 situation. That brings me to one of the game's biggest strengths, dying. Now you might be wondering what the heck I'm on about, but what plagued and eventually deterred me from games of this type in the past was how slow looting was paced and how death would immediately have you dreading a wait time. Because gathering loot and ultimately strength is so much easier and more balanced in Battlegrounds, chances of finding imminent death very early on is rare unless you look for it. Add to that their fast lobby system, and dying feels more like a respawn than a whole relaunch of the game. Dying feels less final, so you play a little riskier, which keeps it entertaining and fun. Even though I tend to play it safe most of the time, Battleground manages to make death seem like more of a lesson than punishment, which definitely ties into its addictiveness. The final and possibly best aspect of the game is the connectivity. Now, as you guys surely know, it's a struggle to be a South African gamer. With the majority of the games we want to play, our favorite games, if they're multiplayer based, the likelihood that we're going to have local servers for the game is very slim. We don't go entirely unnoticed though. We've always had Counter-Strike servers. For the most part, we've always had Battlefield servers. With Battlefield 1, we needed community influencers like Jack Frags and Level Cap to make some noise so they could actually get local servers. And for the first time ever, we got local console servers for a Battlefield game, which is a massive step in a very good direction. However, for new IPs and especially early access games, it's very difficult for developers to make servers available in every single region that is interested in playing their games. For the most part, and in the case of Battlegrounds, most of the servers, if we don't have local variants thereof, are situated in the EU. Your experience on these servers are directly impacted by the internet facility that you currently have. If you find yourself on a wireless solution like 3G, for example, you'll have pings upwards of 300 ms. Though if you find yourself on fiber, you'll have pings no higher than 170, maybe 180 at most. Luckily, we get used to this latency pretty quickly, and games and their variable netcode will generally adapt to allow a level of fairness for high ping players as well, in correlation with lower ping players. Currently I'm running a 25 meg fiber line, and my buddy who's playing with me in the background, Potty ZA, he's running a 10 meg ADSL line, and we've had a phenomenally smooth experience playing this game. But as this is an early access game, it is expected that there's server issues every now and then. For the most part, they seem not to only affect us in South Africa, but also affect localized players to the region where the server is hosted. If you follow players like Tio on YouTube, you will notice that they've been complaining about it recently as well, since the latest patch. Regardless of those instances and some bad patches, the local gameplay you're currently watching of us playing is indicative of just how smooth Battlegrounds plays for us South African gamers. Also, if my friends list alone is any indication of the game's local popularity, then it's definitely booming. So as a sum of its parts, Battlegrounds is a must-have title. Putting you up against 99 other players as you fight to a solo victory, Battlegrounds perfectly captures what makes gaming enjoyable, especially in our fast-paced lives where gaming time can often be limited. Exposing you to what can easily be no more than 3 minutes of your time in a cutthroat arena of quick character progression and insane gunfights, it's the apex of digital entertainment. And if you find yourself missing your buds, you can easily partake in a 2-team duo or 4-man squad if the mood strikes you. Look out for my Battleground videos and streams in the future, and for those of you who are fans of the game, connect with me on Steam and Twitter and join in whenever we're having a few rounds. Have a safe weekend guys, and see you on the Battlegrounds.